Hi guys, I'm going to do a keto pizza recipe today, and it's so good when we make this. I don't really miss regular pizza, it's that good. So we'll get started here. I'm not going to give you all the details, the carbs, the fat, the fiber, all that stuff. I'll tell you how much I use of something, and if you're into keto, you know how to punch it in and figure out what you're looking for. So let's get going. Okay guys, here we go. We're going to put in 2 eggs, we're going to add 2 cups of mozzarella cheese, shredded or whatever you call it, grated. And if you want to grate your own, you can. You'll save a little bit of carbohydrate because they do put potato starch in shredded cheese to keep it from sticking. We learned that. But for the few carbs, so when I compared, it was 1 carb for the shredded, pre-shredded. If you buy it, the brand I looked at, if you buy it whole and shred it yourself, it's less than 1 carb, but there's still carbohydrate in it. So we have shredded here, so I'm using shredded. And this is just for the crust here, right? And then we got to add Parmesan cheese. The first time I did this, we just used Parmesan cheese out of the shaker, like on the in a restaurant on the table, and it was good. This time we're going to use the shredded Parmesan, and it's 1 cup of shredded Parmesan. Then we'll mix this together. I forgot to get something out. I add flaxseed to it. So flaxseed is a wash for its carbohydrates and its fiber. But when you're eating this much cheese, adding that extra fiber is kind of nice. There is fat in there, and you don't have to add that. I add it. It also gives it a little more of a crusty color, like a wheat crust almost. But add a 1/4 cup of that. And then we're just going to mix this up. Mix it good, and then we'll set that aside and get our pizza pan out. And we're going to use parchment paper because we're going to bake this crust on top of parchment paper. Put that on there. Dump this on. Spread it out. I'm going to push it right up to the edge of the pan. Might be a little heavy in the egg there. I could mix that a little better. Doesn't have to be perfect because this will melt and spread a little, but with the egg in there and that flax. I don't know if it's the flax seed or what, but it binds really well, and it'll come out looking not a whole lot different than we put it in. All right, so that's ready to go in the oven for 15 minutes. We're gonna put on the middle rack for 15 minutes. Yeah, it's 24 ounces of pork, so I'm gonna grind it up. We're gonna add some garlic. We're gonna add some Italian seasoning. And I'm just doing it to taste. I suppose that's probably close to 2 tablespoons of Italian seasoning in there, and I don't know, half a teaspoon of garlic. We're going to add some onion powder, and I suppose we're at about a 1/4 teaspoon, maybe half of that. And again, that's to taste. If you don't want seasoning on your meat, then don't. You could use chicken, just pepperoni, beef, whatever. And the sauce is going to be 1 small can of tomato paste, and 1/4 cup of tomato sauce. Now you could go lighter on the paste and add just a little more sauce if you like it runny. It'll also cut down on the carbs if you use a little less paste and a little more sauce. Alright, into that we're going to add some onion powder. And we're going to be probably at a 1/4 teaspoon to a 1/2 teaspoon of that. This is again just to your taste. Add about 1/2 teaspoon to 3/4 teaspoon of garlic powder, and a couple of tablespoons of Italian seasoning. And we like our sauce a little bit, not sweet, but not acidic. So we're going to add stevia, but it doesn't take much. We're going to use liquid stevia, and I suppose if I were using the powder stevia, I wouldn't add more than a teaspoon. Probably a 1/2 teaspoon is all I'd put in. But I'm going to do 3 little squirts. Mix that all in. Okay, it's been 15 minutes. Alright, we're going to let that cool off, and then we're going to put our sauce on top of it. So this is our sauce. It's pretty thick. And then I make the kids their own sauce. It's a lot thinner, use real sugar, all that kind of stuff. Okay, it's warm, but it's not hot anymore. So it's cooled enough. See how it kind of goes. But we're going to add our sauce. You can adjust this any way you want. We like a lot of sauce. Or at least I do. And since I'm the one making it, it's going to be a lot of sauce. There you go. Right up to the edge. And then we're going to add 2 cups of ground pork. And if you wanted more fat on this, I guess you could drizzle olive oil on that crust before you put the sauce on there, or after. You know, I mean, you can do any sort of toppings you want. I like a lot of meat, so we're doing 2 cups of pork. And I'm not taking the fat out. There is fat. You can see it in there. Oh, this is good. This is so good. And then I'm going to add a cup of mozzarella on top. Oops. And a cup of this Fiesta blend. I suppose it's like Colby and a mozzarella, or I don't know what it is. It's a Fiesta blend. We're going to add a cup of that. And there's our pizza. You could add more veggies to it, peppers, and add a little extra. Peppers, hot pepper, whatever you want. I'm going to put this in, and it only has to go in long enough really to melt this because everything's cooked. I'll wait. Get our token pepperoni on there because normally I would cover it with pepperoni, but one of our kids finished off most of the bag and didn't write it down. I won't say her name, but she's our oldest daughter. There you go. That goes in the oven for long enough to melt. I'd say 10-15 minutes at the most. Ready? There it goes. Alright, 10 minutes. Right there, done. Got a pizza crust in there for the kids. Finish baking that. Okay guys, I suppose it's been 5 or 6 minutes. I'm gonna cut it. When I make this is 4 servings, so we'll cut it into quarters. Gotta even out the pepperoni a little bit. Peel that back so you can see it a little. That's what it looks like.